So in today's session, we'll be studying enthalpy. Enthalpy is total energy of the system. The total amount of energy possessed by system is called as enthalpy, and it is denoted by H. What I mean to say by total energy of the system? So energy is of two kinds, kinetic energy and potential energy, and thus internal energy plus PV type of energy, that is pressure volume type of work. This amounts to total energy of the system. Enthalpy H is U plus PV. Now, here we are introducing two more terms. Number one, U. This U is internal energy and PV is pressure volume type of energy. So this U is energy which is present in the system. Energy stored by the system is called as internal energy. And this PV is energy which is used to make that system or to form that system. Is called as PV type of energy or pressure volume type of energy. So pressure volume type of energy is energy required for creating system, and U is the energy which stays inside the system. If we combine these two, we get net energy of the system, and this net energy of the system is called as enthalpy. Now friend, this enthalpy is also a state function. It depends. The change will depend on initial and final state and not on the path. So H is a state function. The basic reason why H is a state function, say internal energy is a state function, PV work is also pressure volume type is also state function. So sum total of two state function has to be a state function. Now U is internal energy and PV is pressure volume type of energy or PV type. This terms is internal energy. The energy residing inside the system. Energy residing inside the system. Energy residing inside the system indicates what? So system contains two type of energy. One is kinetic energy, which is due to motion, and second is potential energy, which is due to bonding or energy stored in bonds. So kinetic energy plus potential energy, sum total of these two forms of energy is called as internal energy, and this internal energy is denoted by. Now kinetic energy, energy due to motion. So there are three types in kinetic energy. One is vibrational energy, second is translational energy, and third one is rotational energy. Then second is potential energy. Potential energy is intermolecular energy and intramolecular energy. So this is energy, this is bonding energy. Intermolecular energy is defined as amount of energy required to separate one molecule from another molecule. And intramolecular energy is defined as energy required to separate constituent of a molecule from each other. So in this way, total internal energy U is given as sum of kinetic energy and potential energy. Now, external energy is called as kinetic energy, or this energy is called as thermal energy, and bonding energy is called as potential energy. So total internal energy is external energy or kinetic energy or thermal energy plus bonding energy or potential energy. Now look here, in these two forms, one type of energy depends on temperature and other does not. Say external energy or kinetic energy is dependent on temperature, whereas bonding energy, it does not depend on temperature. So now, how these energies are? So let me say first vibrational energy. So see, two solid atoms are packed very close. Nucleus of one atom will attract electron of neighboring and vice versa. So these two atoms will come closer. But once they come close, they will get repelled due to same charges on nucleus and same charges on electron. So attraction followed by repulsion will cause vibration. And therefore, all solid atoms, they will keep on vibrating on their mean position like this. So all solid, they are said to possess vibrational energy. Rotational energy. Let us take translational energy. What is translational energy? So motion of any particle in straight line path is due to translation motion. So such type of energy possessed due to translation motion is called as energy of translation or translational energy. So in case of liquid, molecules are free to flow because they contain translational. Now next is, if it is gas, then in case of diatomic gases, this atom, they keep on revolving around each other along a line which joins their axes of rotation. This kind of energy is called as rotational. So if I combine these three types, translational, rotational and vibrational, then this will be called as kinetic energy. There are systems which can have multiple components, like they may have translation energy in addition to vibrational, like in case of diatomic molecule. So this is kinetic energy. Vibrational energy, plus translational energy plus rotational energy is total kinetic. So kinetic energy is temperature dependent energy. How many forms are there? Vibrational energy, translational energy and rotational energy. Now look here, in case of a solid, all the atoms are very tightly held and these atoms, they are not allowed to leave their place. So they keep on vibrating on their mean position. So energy possessed due to such vibration is called as vibration. Whereas in case of liquid, these molecules are free to flow due to translation motion. Energy possessed is called as translational energy. And this gaseous molecule, they rotate along their axis of rotation. They are said to possess rotational energy. Molecule in solid state have only vibrational energy. Diatomic and polyatomic molecules like oxygen, ammonia, etc., they possess vibrational energy in addition to translational energy. And all diatomic or polyatomic molecules rotate about the axis perpendicular to the line joining their nuclei. The energy due to such rotational motion is called as rotational energy. Vibrational, translational and rotational. Is it clear? So there are three forms of kinetic. Now, intermolecular energy or intermole energy plus intramolecular or intermole energy is called as potential energy. This is bonding energy. Intermolecular energy is amount of energy required to separate one molecule from another molecule. If you take water, say for example, and if it contains n number of molecules, to separate out one water molecule from other water molecule, the amount of energy supplied will be called as intermolecular energy. Intramolecular means within. Now you have one water molecule, but this water molecule is made up of constituent atoms like oxygen and hydrogen. So amount of energy required to separate constituent of molecule from each other will be called as intramolecular, or it is also called as intramole. So intermolecular and intramolecular, these are bonding energy and they are form of potential energy. Potential energy is stored energy and potential energy is temperature independent. So total internal energy, the energy residing inside the system, is internal energy. Residing inside the system is internal energy. So total internal energy, translational energy, vibrational energy, rotational energy, intermole energy and intramole energy, and plus this U0. This U0 is electronic energy. It is in the form of, it is due to position of electron, and binding energy, how proton, electron and neutrons are binded. But this energy is not changing and therefore it is neglected. And this internal energy is a state function. It cannot be measured. It can always be measured in terms of change in it. And therefore, delta U will be equals to delta U translational, delta U vibrational, delta U rotational, delta U interpole and delta U intra. Now, microscopically we define internal energy U as the sum of the kinetic and potential energy of all particles, atoms, molecules in the system. This internal energy is an extensive property. Means U is proportional to amount of substance. That is how much amount is present. More is amount of substance present in the system, more will be its internal energy. And this can be made very clear from the fact, if you put twice as much as petrol in our car, then we will be able to travel twice as far. If we eat 6 candy bars, we will gain 6 times more energy or 6 times more weight than from eating 1 bar. It means internal energy is dependent on quantity of matter present inside the system, and hence it is an extensive problem. Now, internal energy cannot be measured. Internal energy cannot be measured. It cannot. It can be always measured in terms of change in internal energy. Let me say you have gone to some bank and you have opened your account. And while opening your account, you have deposited 1,000 rupees. And against that 1,000 rupees, you have been issued with checkbook, passbook, etc. Now, how much amount you have in bank will depend upon what? How much you are crediting, how much amount you are crediting, or how much amount you are withdrawing. But that 1,000 rupees is going to be there on. It is not going to. So you have become rich. How you will come to know? Initially, how much was there, and now how much is there? You will become poor. How you will come to know? Initially, how much you had, and now how much you are having. So change in internal energy is denoted as delta U. For any process in a closed system, the internal energy change is always equals to two things. One is heat and second is work. So heat plus work always amounts change in internal energy. I am using word change because change can be rise in internal energy or it can be fall in internal energy depending upon conditions. So delta U is Q plus W. Delta U is change in internal energy, Q is heat and W is work. Now you have to remember this. Since there are no interaction, the internal energy U of an ideal gas does not depend on pressure or volume, but it depends only on temperature. And students, they forget the very elementary thing, that internal energy of ideal gas does not depend on pressure or volume. It is independent of pressure and volume. It depends only on temperature. Why this is so? Because if there are interatomic interaction, then gas will be called as real. And if there are no interatomic interaction, then the gas will be called as ideal gas. So in ideal gas, there are no interatomic interaction, and that is the reason internal energy U of an ideal gas does not depend on pressure or volume, but it depends only on temperature. Now work. What is work? In thermodynamics, we deal with macroscopic system. Macro means sizable, the one which can be measured, bigger in size. Macroscopic system, made up of large number of microscopic particles, that is atoms or molecules. And in the first law of thermodynamics, concept of work is introduced as one of the way of changing the internal energy of a system. So what is work? Work is one of the way utilized to change internal energy of the system. So work is one of the way by which one kind of energy is converted into another kind. And that is the reason unit of work and energy both are same. Both this are measured in terms of joules. Now let us take example of work. I have taken a cylinder fitted with weightless and frictionless piston, isn't it? You can see the piston moves in downward direction, then the gas will be compressed. And if this piston moves in upward direction, then the gas expands. So example of ordered motion of atom. Example of ordered motion. Work is ordered motion of atom is compression of gas by moving piston or expansion of. So in thermodynamics, we define work as the form of energy transfer between system and surrounding that utilizes ordered motion. Now all macroscopic systems have a volume V, and thus they can be compressed or expanded. This system may respond by compression or expansion to change in state. Such volume change will lead to work being done against external force. This kind of work is called as pressure volume work, or it is also called as compression or expansion work. We will understand this concept very well